What exactly is a hung parliament? The phrase appears periodically during British elections, coalition talks, and political crisis. But many people may misunderstand what it actually means. Some people may think it means Parliament has collapsed. Others may think it means no one can govern. And some may imagine it automatically leads to chaos. But in reality, a hung parliament is simply the result of parliamentary arithmetic. So in this episode of Politics 5, let's explain what a hung parliament actually is and why it matters so much in British politics. A hung parliament happens when no single political party wins an outright majority of seats in the House of Commons. In the UK Parliament, there are 650 seats. So to command a working majority to govern alone, a party needs 50% plus 1, which is 326 MPs. This is called a majority government. But if no party reaches that number, Parliament is described as hung. In simple terms, no party has enough MPs to comfortably control the Commons. Now, this does not mean that the country stops functioning. A government can still be formed, but it usually means one of three things will happen. Either a coalition government is formed, or a minority government operates, or there is some form of supply and demand agreement. A coalition government is where two or more parties formally agree to govern together. Britain experienced this after the 2010 general election, when the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats formed a coalition. A minority government is different. This is where the largest party governs without a full majority, often relying on smaller parties on an issue-by-issue basis, on what is often called supply and demand agreements in order to survive important votes. Minority governments are less stable because they must constantly maintain parliamentary support. Now, hung parliaments are important though because they often force negotiation and compromise, whilst majority governments can usually pass legislation relatively easily. Hung parliaments make governing harder because no single party fully controls the Commons. Now, some people may see this as a healthy restraint, whilst others may see this as instability. Much depends on the political circumstances. Now, here is something important to understand. A hung parliament is not abnormal nor unconstitutional. It is simply one possible outcome of democratic elections under the British parliamentary system. And as voting patterns become more fragmented between multiple parties at present, hung parliaments may become increasingly possible. This is especially true under the first-past-the-post electoral system, where seats, not total vote share, determine who governs. And that is why understanding parliamentary arithmetic matters so much in British politics. Because elections are not only about who wins the most votes, they are ultimately about who can command the confidence of the House of Commons. So in summary, a hung parliament simply means no single party has won an outright majority in the House of Commons. It does not mean that the system has broken down. It means that power must now be negotiated rather than assumed. And in British politics, these moments can fundamentally reshape governments, parties, and sometimes the direction of the country itself. This has been Politics 5. British Politics Explained in 5 minutes.